Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Sylvia Lohr, working for Nuance and hosting today's session. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to our first webinar conducted by Nuance and Mediatel Data. And for now, let's get started. Enjoy.
Good morning. Welcome to our webinar, Conversational Banking for a Remote World. This webinar basically is brought to you by Nuance and Mediatel. Nuance and Mediatel have been partners for a long time. Dates back until the early 2010 years, where we started our first collaboration and did our first projects in Romania. So two very strong partners, basically collaborating on the field of conversational banking and taking a next step into their collaboration. So Mediatel, as you might know, established in the mid 1990s, focusing on contact center technology, where Nuance basically had a focus on speech and speech recognition solutions. We now, let's say, brought together those two specialties and are focusing on the banking world in this case to bring the conversational experiences to the Romanian market. So I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Adrian. Adrian will be my co-host for today, and in a few minutes he will guide you through the details of what we can do for your bank, for your financial institute. First, I'll take a few moments to further introduce Nuance. So my name is Guido Jongen. I'm commercially responsible for the Nuance activities in Central and Eastern Europe. And basically, as I told you, what we're doing today is we're stepping into the world of conversational banking. I will tell you all about, let's say, the Nuance view on conversational banking. But I would like to start basically with some market trends, some trends that we see happening in the financial services world that are also, let's say, backed up by some of the larger consulting partners, as you can see in the bottom of this slide. So the first thing that we see happening is around distribution and expectations. So today, the expectations when it comes to being served in a digital manner is the same for the younger people as it is for the older people. So previously, let's say before COVID happened, the older people were still happy with their phone banking line or with the fact that they needed to go to a branch office in order to open an account or make some changes, where the younger people basically already had the expectation that they prefer the digital way of doing business with their banks. So now, because of COVID, that's all aligned. And basically the older people and the younger generation expect a digital experience. And what we see is that the larger banks globally already offer, let's say, 50% of their services in a digital and in a self-service way to their customers. And again, today is to help you in also making that possible for your own bank and to your own customers. So that's the first trend. And the second trend basically aligns to that. So the moment you start offering digital services and you start offering self-service to your customer, then the profile of your own resources, of your own people, rapidly changes. So where people now might be bothered with questions about opening hours or very simple and repetitive tasks, you need to be prepared that that will shift to much more specialized questions. So your people need to be trained and maybe even selected to perform those more specialized tasks. So you will need to look at your basically at the people who are, let's say, in the front office servicing your customers. Are they still the right profile? Do they have the right training? Do they have the right experience to do what they need to do while, let's say, the majority of questions are covered in the digital channels via self-service. So that's the second important development we see. Third one is about trust. So we see that because of COVID, basically branches closed down, had to close down because of all the all the lockdowns in almost every country. And fraudsters basically noticed that. So they shifted their attention to basically the one channel that was expanded rapidly, and that was the contact center, and still is the contact center. So they found new ways to basically penetrate banks, financial institute, but it's also for telcos, it's the same. So the fraud attempts within contact centers have increased significantly. And that's something basically your customers are aware of, and you need to make sure that you have the right measures in place to basically counter that fraud and to give your customers a safe feeling that they can do their business on the phone, remote, via self-service, instead of taking their passport and going to the branch, which was their, let's say, their secure feeling before. That was the third one. And the last one is basically about agility. So the speed to being able to adapt to all these new situations. So changes need to be made much faster than previously because the things are changing and are changing at a higher pace. And that's something, let's say, your internal organization needs to be aware of. And yeah, you need to be prepared for that increased, let's say, business activity. So those are, let's say, the market trends that we see. And again, companies like Deloitte, like Accenture, have seen the same and have published also about the same. So I would like to take basically two of those facts and dive a bit more into those because to me they were very well, let's not say appealing, but they really stood out of everything we have shared and seen before. So this one basically shows that after the pandemic, in the first 90 days, so that's only 3 months, we altogether have, let's say, made a 10-year shift in digital adaptation. So it only took us 3 months after we were forced to do that because of lockdowns, because of all kinds of local measures, to make a leap, a 10-year leap in digital adoption. So that's companies offering services to their consumers, but also consumers getting used to those digital services. So that's, let's say, for us, for Nuance, for Mediatel, but also for you, it's a great chance to really take this momentum and make the next steps in your digital transformation. And the other one, I already touched on it briefly. It's about fraud attempts. So you see that fraudsters didn't slow down. They took the pandemic as an opportunity to increase their attacks. And what they have done so is they use, let's say, the channels in a combined way. So we see that information is gathered on the digital channel, and with that information, the contact center channel is attacked. And again, we are going to tell you today how you will be protected and how you will give your customers that safe feeling when they're doing their business with you. So this slide basically shows our translation of those market trends. And I would like to talk you through what, let's say, practically within customer service, within conversational systems, those market trends mean to you as a bank and what we think are the important next steps to consider. So first one is about artificial intelligence. Everyone has heard about it, but with, let's say, the increase of everything digital, also artificial intelligence becomes something that will really transform the way you offer services to your customers. So we can talk about prediction. We can talk about, let's say, more intelligently understanding people. We can talk about fraud prevention. In all these cases, artificial intelligence will play a role to basically enhance the service on itself and basically make sure that we service your customers in the best possible way. So it's really a supporting technology for everything we do in our daily contact center business. And it's the same for intelligent automation. So as I told a bit earlier, we will see a shift in the contact centers from the, let's say, the easy repetitive tasks to more specialized tasks. And why is that? Because those repetitive tasks will be carried out by automated systems. Call it a chatbot, call it a voice bot, call it automation, but that's basically what's going to happen. So we will design conversations that will be carried out autonomously by conversational platforms combined with your contact center infrastructure. And we will basically make sure that your customers are served without the need for your employees to spend time on these, let's say, high volume but low intelligence tasks. And when you do that, it's very important that you are aware of the fact that for some of these tasks, you need your customers' personal data. So you need to know who someone is before you can complete a transaction or process someone's new address or whatever. And customers are expecting basically control over those kind of situations. So they want to understand what it is that a customer is doing. So is this data processed in the cloud, and then what's happening to it, or is everything safe? So you need to be very, let's say, open and transparent to tell those customers what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what the impact is. And with that clear messaging, people will accept it, and that will allow you to make the next steps in those self-services. Well, fraud, I think we've talked about that. It's a very important aspect nowadays. It's not immediately the focus of this webinar, but both Mediatel and Nuance have some very nice, let's say, deployments in the field of voice biometrics that is very, very effective in attacking fraud, but also in offering a very, let's say, seamless authentication experience to your customers just while talking to that automated system. And when talking about seamless, basically that is the new standard. So as you can see here, a seamless customer journey, it's just not optional anymore. You have to make sure that if your customer enters at point A, wants to move to point B, that's possible. If someone wants to switch a channel, that should be possible within the context of the conversation. So those are the things that we think are very important. And in the end, you need to make some kind of a shift from basically what we are doing now, which is mobile banking. I guess everyone in the audience, every company has a mobile app where you offer some kind of services, maybe some high-level transactions, and we need to make the shift basically to the next step. So it's not about that app, but it's about the whole conversational platform. If I want to send you a WhatsApp message, then that should be possible. I shouldn't be limited to that one app because I already have 75 on my phone, and for each app there is one, let's say, a business. But with WhatsApp, as one app where I can do my business as a consumer with all of the companies I'm connected to, which is far more convenient. And that also goes for the people that you're hiring, as I told before. That was, let's say, related to the contact center. But now we are looking at user interface designers who are making the app very shiny and nice to see. But what we need to do is get conversational designers into the mix and make sure that there is a nice talking path for all the customers. For every experience, there should be a conversation path with an escape to a live agent, with a solution, etc. So these are shifts that are very important to make if you want to keep up with the changes in offering your services in a digital way to your customer. And then basically we slowly reaching the point where Adrian takes over, and we'll have an in-depth conversation about how that looks like, that conversational banking. From our point of view, it's basically, it's anything, anywhere, anyone, anytime, and anyhow. So your customers, the old ones, but the young ones, and the young ones, no matter where they are, no matter what time it is, no matter what they want to do, and if they want to talk to you or if they want to text you, conversational banking should make that possible. So it should give your customers the freedom to do their business with you, to ask their questions, to process their transactions the way they want to do it, when they want to do it, and how they want to do it. And that's what we think is the core of conversational banking, and the future of this industry. And then you will see in this closing slide that a customer comes in the channel of choice. You will do a biometric authentication, whether that's voice or something else. Within that entrance, you already capture what someone is trying to do with you, because we know so much from our AI systems that we can predict that someone has lost his card or wants to ask a new one or wants to change his address. And then let's say we enter the conversation block, so to say, where we can either offer self-service and help the customer basically with retrieving the relevant articles for his question, or we direct him to an agent, and then that same technology will work for that agent. We can offer these agents with the next best action, the next best offer, to give him all the relevant data to build a meaningful conversation with that with your customer. And as an additional layer, we can also do fraudster detection based on, let's say, the biometric authentication in the first phase, and see if we recognize, let's say, patterns or people that we don't like. And as a very next step, we can also start proactive engagement with your customers about expiry dates or whatever. So I think in general, this is how we view the market. This is how we view, let's say, conversational banking as a solution for what's happening in the world today. And in closing, I'm sorry, it wasn't the last slide. I would like to show you this one. This is a quote from one of our customers. And it says that everyone thinks a bank trades in money, but the core commodity a bank trades in is trust. And especially these days, I think it's a very valuable quote to keep in mind in designing next experiences for your customers. So I would like to hand over to Adrian. Enjoy the rest of the presentation, and afterwards feel free to ask any questions if you like.
Thank you, Guido, for the really nice introduction and the technical side of things. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Adrian Mândreanu. I'm the Customer Experience Manager at Mediatel, a Romanian-based company with offices in Bucharest and Brașov, founded in 1996. We've been doing call and contact center solutions ever since. In the last 10 years or so, we've partnered with Nuance in order to incorporate technology offered by Nuance inside the Mediatel omnichannel ecosystem, thus resulting in really complex products that help clients in general, and of course banking clients in particular for the purpose of this webinar, by providing complete 360-degree solutions of services that can be offered via the phone. And that refers to both biometric solutions by using the Nuance active and passive identification products, as well as a really complex IVR by using the Nuance NLU modules, as well as the Nuance Krypton module, which helps us build really complex self-service IVR and customer experience design. First of all, a couple of words about Mediatel. We're a dedicated, highly experienced project team. The average experience of persons inside the company is 10 years. So we've been doing it for a long period of time. We've been doing it well. So we always try to tailor make our solutions in terms of what the client actually needs. So we're doing an analysis phase with the client. We're trying to be a piece of a puzzle. That way, the client gets exactly what they're missing. The clients can dream up complex flows, and we can provide the knowledge and the tools to build a complex customer experience. Of course, constant innovation is one of our main goals. That's how we reached and we partnered with Nuance a long time ago. Of course, their products are constantly developing as well, allowing us to build smarter and smarter IVR solutions and smarter banking or solution ecosystems. We pride ourselves in being a really affordable quality service provider. So as long as you have a business need, or as long as you identify some points where your business can be optimized, we can come in and with our experience, we can help you identify exactly what you can do better, let's say, or what you can do in order to improve your business and improve it in a short period of time. In order to prove this thing, this is a slide containing, it's not an exhaustive slide, so it contains a couple of our clients all over the world. Mediatel has presence on 5 continents and in a lot of countries. So we're offering a range of solutions designed starting from the same core product, which is the Mediatel omnichannel solution. So the same solution is applied to banking, of course, to private healthcare clinics, to insurance companies, even to pizza delivery companies. You'd be surprised how many of the ideas from a pizza delivery company or the functionalities from a pizza delivery company can be applied to and in the banking sector. Now, because Guido gave us, let's say, an in-depth presentation of the technological possibilities, I'm gonna give you some quick use cases where the Mediatel and the Nuance products were used in order to create an ecosystem that helped our clients reach and surpass their expected results. The first one was the virtual assistant deployed to deliver the personalized customer experience, basically a self-service IVR. And within just 3 months of being deployed, the virtual assistant covered almost 30,000 conversations per month, understanding over 350 clients' questions and answers, and obviously intents, greatly reducing the time customers needed to spend within the IVR or needed to spend after the IVR while talking to the agent, because their intention was already clear. The agents already had the screen prepared with the client information related with the subject that the client chose within IVR. Also, first call resolution was greatly increased for the agents, as 78% of the calls were solved within the first interaction. That means that the system understood what the client wanted. The system understood which is the best agent to deliver this call, and thus the overall experience was greatly improved. So use case 2 is a use case for the Nuance free speech and the Nuance vocal password functionalities that allows identification of the client and validation of the client via their voice. The vocal password one is a really simple key phrase that the client has to say, like, for example, my voice is my password. So they can use it instead of having to input their password, having to input their PIN number. And voice is a really secure method of authentication. So by using voice biometrics, we are able to validate that client. Let's say the most customer friendly one is the Nuance free speech functionality, which allows the system to identify the client while he is openly or free speaking with the IVR or with the agent. That means that within 10-15 seconds of the initial call time, the system can validate with a really high accuracy if the client is who he's saying that he actually is. So that reduces the average handle time for authentication to 10-15 seconds from the start of the call. So including the time in the IVR. That means that even while I'm talking to the IVR, saying what I'm interested in or what question I have, the IVR is validating my identity using the Nuance free speech module. So that delivers a really good, really intricate customer experience for our clients. And obviously, with the work from home capabilities, or with the work from home situation derived by the COVID pandemic, these levels of security help prevent fraud attempts. Obviously, it's impossible to simulate somebody's voice, or to be able to simulate it to such an extent in order to trick the system. And obviously, the Nuance products feature functionalities like recording detection and fraudster detection, which again during these times allow us to filter really big number of fraud attempts. Thank you very much for your time, and at the end of this presentation, me and Guido and obviously our colleagues are open for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Guido. This was great. I hope that all the attendees had also found a lot of information and starting points